Hello, everyone. I'm Sierra.
And I'm Ashley.
And this is your Weekly Dose of Wicked.
Hello, and welcome to your Weekly Dose of Wicked.
No funny business, Ashley. They don't like it when we banter in the beginning of the episode. It's annoying. Painful to get through.
Not true.
It is true.
It is not true. We're funny bitches.
Okay, well, it's not what everyone thinks.
In case anyone wondered, that was my cigarette mom voice.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
It was not as good as Sierra's.
No, but you can't always be as good as me at everything.
Voices, not a forte of mine. Can't do them.
No, it's okay, though. I could do enough voices for the both of us.
That's true.
So anyway...
Sierra's butthurt because we got a comment on our YouTube that said that our banter was painful and made Sierra feel like we're not funny. But that's not true because you love our banter and we are funny.
I think most people do like our banter, but...
I think so too. And if they don't, maybe they should tell us. We tell them all the time to message us and tell us what they like and what they don't like.
They told us they didn't like it.
Well, yeah, but they're like, I don't know if they counted.
They didn't count. Okay.
Okay, well, I guess they did. They told us they didn't like it. But if more people didn't like it, more people would message us and tell us they didn't like it.
I agree. But no, that's the first time we ever had that.
Yeah.
We did have those people that said our age showed and we sounded 16, which was funny because, we're not. But whatever.
I know that might have hurt your feelings, but I thought it was funny that they told us we were painful to listen to.
Well, you know that I acted like it was funny, but that's what I do. When I'm hurt, I just make jokes about it.
I literally read the comment. It was like...
I did it.
And then I moved on.
I read the comment, and then I listened to the first 7 minutes and 55 seconds of the episode to see if it was painful to get through. And then because they said it was painful to get through, I thought it was painful to get through. So.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I actually was going to listen to the first 7 minutes and 55 seconds, but I only made it 3 minutes in, and I was like, this is fine.
I appreciated the fact that they listened to 7 minutes and 55 seconds, though.
Well, I think they listened to the whole thing because they said we had banter.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole episode. So, I mean, whatever.
That's true. Whatever. Good news is we don't have much banter this week, so we don't really have anything going on. If you can hear chainsaws in the background, we apologize. North Carolina had a crazy-ass storm last night, out of nowhere. It was freaking nuts. We are going to have banter because we're going to talk about the storm. It was crazy. It was like sunshine and everything was fine. I went in the kitchen to put some groceries away. I come back out in my living room and it was pitch black. And I was like, oh shit, something's about to go down. And then all of a sudden, Dad was like calling Jacob and he's like, hey, you guys need to take cover. And Jacob was like, oh my God, Sierra, there's a funnel cloud across the street. And I was like, oh shit. So we went under the house and yeah, it was crazy. We had no power. We had no power. So Ashley and I live like 45 minutes away from each other. I was without power for like 6 hours. Ashley didn't have power until today.
Yeah, it was like
9 this morning.
It was like 18 hours or something.
Yeah, it was a long time.
I don't know. I was working, so I missed all of it. I just saw the aftermath. I didn't see any of the storm.
Yeah, because the power went out at like 5. And then you didn't get power back on until like 9 or 10 this morning. I don't know exactly what time it was.
Yeah, I don't know either. Because again, I was working, so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My power came back on last night, though, right before midnight. So
yeah, but more than 12 hours. It was very annoying.
Yeah, and there's actually still a lot of people that don't have power. I just checked the outage map. So as of yesterday when it went down, there was 175,000 people without power. And then this morning, there were still 75,000 people without power. Oof. And then as of right now, there's still like 20,000 people without power.
Yeah, when I was coming home from work today, there was still like lights out, like cops directing traffic.
China Grove has no power. The entire town of China Grove has no power. They don't have anyone directing the traffic. They've just put out some cones. Oh. And they just sent out an email to let everyone know that school that's supposed to start tomorrow will be not starting because there's no power at the schools.
Oh, that's fabulous. I would like this time to tell you guys something that has nothing to do with true crime. But it's a lesson that everybody should know. When a light is out, it is not a free-for-all. It becomes a 4-way stop.
Yes.
That drives me freaking crazy. Like, it's not that hard. 4-way stop. That's what it is. It's a 4-way stop.
Yes. Well, that's how everyone in China Grove knows that. So it was fine. Like, I went through a couple exit routes.
I almost died on my way home today.
Yeah.
Not today. Because there was cops. Yesterday.
Yeah.
I almost died.
Yeah.
It was very scary.
I mean, it was a really scary storm, not gonna lie.
Like that time that light on the main road in Morrisville went out, and everybody was just like, ha ha ha.
And flying.
Going.
Yeah, flying. It was crazy.
Going 55. Like, no, it's a 4-way stop.
Yes.
It drives me crazy. So if you don't do a 4-way stop, you're wrong, and it's against the law.
Yes.
That is all.
Thank you for ending that rant.
You're welcome. In case you guys couldn't tell, I'm sick this week. I'm getting over it, but my voice is still gross, so I really apologize. Because it sounds horrible. It sounded a lot better than I did, though.
You do sound better, but yeah. That's why I did the cigarette mom voice, but yeah, so, I mean, I guess that's really all we got for banter. We're already at 5.5 minutes, so.
Yeah, so better just knock it off. We gotta cut it in half.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll go
The
ahead and
funny
jump
thing
in.
is, though, is I was already cut in half.
Oh.
Don't you remember, like, our early episodes? We'd have, like, 20 minutes of banter in the beginning. Like, all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we had a lot of exciting things to share.
I mean, we always have exciting things to share, but
Yeah.
I think that that's what makes us relatable, though. People enjoy hearing things because then they feel like they're talking to their friends.
Right.
A lot of people message us and say, like, I feel like I'm talking to my friends. Like, I don't have any sisters, and I feel like I get, like, my sisterly bond from you guys, and, like, that's what we want, so.
And I'll have, like, some friends that listen to the podcast, and they'll, like, be like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm just sitting on the couch drinking coffee with you guys every time I listen.
I feel like that's what makes us relatable. So if you like us to tell you things, then let us know. If you don't, then tell us, hey, cut your shit. We don't care about you. Tell us the stories.
Right, we tell you all the time to, message us on social medias. Email us, weeklydoseofwicked@gmail.com.
Go to
Let us know.
all of our, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X.
I said social media.
I know, but
You had to list them out.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm
anyways.
just saying, all of our social media,
Let
Weekly
us
Dose of
know.
Wicked. Let us know.
What you want, what you don't want. We can only get better if you tell us what to do.
Exactly. And we don't say no to anything podcast related.
Except for no banter. That's crazy.
Except for that.
I mean, if we got 2,500 emails, well, we don't have 2,500 listeners, but whatever.
If we got, yes.
If we got an extreme amount of emails and messages that say, hey, we hate your banter, then we'd stop.
Exactly.
But we don't.
We don't. So it is what it is. But yeah, do all the things. And if you can't get enough of us, then head on over to patreon.com/weekly dose of wicked, where you can sign up for one of our 4 tiers and get 2 bonus episodes a month. I would
We're
like to
doing
take this
pretty good.
time to pat ourselves on the back.
Yeah.
Because
we're doing good.
since we started that, we were late 1 week with an episode, but you still got 2 that month. Like, we didn't, like, miss a second one in the month.
Right. We didn't
So-
just not get it. We just got it out late. But it
Yes.
was
So
still there.
since then, we've had 2 a month, every month, since we made that change. So
Yes.
it starts at $3, man. $3, it's a cheap cup of coffee.
Yep. I don't even know if you could get a cup of coffee, though.
Not anymore. Not in today's inflation.
You know what else is exciting news?
Not with ramen noodles costing 75 cents a pack.
Pumpkin spice lattes come out on August 24th.
Well, that's because it's officially fall.
Yeah, it's officially fall. August 24th is the first day
And
of
if
fall.
you don't agree with that, then I don't need your negativity. We're allowed to agree to disagree. I am wearing my pumpkin shirt today, though.
I'm not wearing any fall, but I was at a I did have a fall candle lit. And when your daughter walked in, she said, oh, it smells like fall.
Yeah? Was it the little one?
Yeah.
The one that likes fall?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the older one said, ugh, it smells gross in here.
Yeah, because she hates fall.
I don't need your negativity. Get out. Not really.
All right.
I want to kick a child out.
Well, without further ado, now that we're at 8 minutes and 40 seconds of banter, let's get into this case you prepared for us, Ashley. I'm excited. I'm ready to go.
It might be less than that, because I'm sure we're going to have to cut some stuff out.
Yeah, but it doesn't cut that much.
Okay. Anyways, so I'm going to do something I don't normally do.
Start at the beginning.
No. I'm still going to story tell the same way I always do. But I'm going to do an unsolved case.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun.
But this is not a serial killer, so.
Okay.
Unsolved serial killers, I don't like those. But unsolved regular cases, I also don't like, but I just think they're really, really important.
Yes, they're very
So-
important to bring awareness to the unsolved cases.
Gotta do it.
I agree.
So, here is one that I discovered. On August 24th, not the 24th, on August 14th of 2000, no one had heard from 21-year-old Laneshia Crowder. I'm sorry, no one had heard from her in a few days. It wasn't super unusual to not hear from her every day. She was a single mom and she had 2 small children. She had Kenneth, who was 7, and Lyric, who was 2, and she had a pretty busy life. So, I mean, she was a single mom, she worked, she had 2 kids. It wasn't abnormal not to hear from her every day. But when it had been multiple days with no words from her, her family and friends started talking to one another and realized that no one had heard from her. So they reached out to one of her neighbors to ask if they would just go and stop by and check on her. Laneshia lived in a quiet, tight-knit community in Carlton, Georgia, and she was pretty close to her neighbors. It was a small town, everybody knew each other, and most people had lived there their whole lives. So her neighbor went over to her house around 10 p.m. and knocked on her door, but she didn't answer. He walked around to the back of the house, and there was like a window open, like the curtains are open, not the actual window. So he like looked through it, and he saw Laneshia lying on the floor, not moving. And her daughter Lyric was on top of her. So he started banging on the window, yelling at them. Lyric started moving, but Laneshia did not. He rushed to another neighbor's house and called 911. When the police arrived and they went into the home, they found the same scene that the neighbor described to them. Laneshia was on the floor of her bedroom. She was covered in blood and had been beaten to death. And her 2-year-old daughter Lyric was laying on top of her, surrounded in Band-Aids because she was trying to use them to help her mom.
Ashley.
Did that not absolutely break your
Why
heart?
would you tell this?
Because that was heartbreaking.
That is horrible.
I know.
Oh.
But she was alive.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, the daughter was alive. She was moving. She was trying to put Band-Aids on the mom.
Okay, but the mom wasn't alive.
Right, no, the mom
You got me excited for nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said that she was dead.
Yeah, you said beaten to death.
Yeah. No, the daughter was alive.
Yes, okay. Well, yes, but that's still heartbreaking. That's
Oh, yes, it is heartbreaking.
extremely heartbreaking.
Yes.
She's trying to put Band-Aids on her mom.
Right. Because she's only 2. She doesn't know what else to do but Band-Aids. Band-Aids fix everything when you're 2 years old.
Right. That makes me think of, this is banter, but we're allowed banter in the middle.
Okay.
I saw a TikTok video a while back, and it was like about this girl. She was like essentially talking about how she has really bad anxiety as an adult, and the reason for that, she's like, I completely blame my mother because my mother used to play these games with us, and she would be like, if you came in the house and I was just laying on the floor, what would you do? Like, if you came home and the house was on fire, what would you do? She's like, and this woman would legit have us like dragging her dead weight ass body out of the house as if she were like laying dead on the floor. And she's like, and you know, we didn't really talk about it. She's like, but a couple weeks ago I was like, Mom, why did you do that? Like, I have horrible anxiety. I always am like prepared for the worst to happen. And she said, because I was a single mother and I wanted to make sure that if something horrible happened, you guys would be prepared, because she had like 2 kids. She was like, I wanted to make sure that if you came home and shit had hit the fan, you would know what to do. And she's like, so appreciate it, Mom, but yeah, I have horrible anxiety. Like, as an adult, as a 30-year-old, I have horrible anxiety, and it all stems from having to drag her ass out of the house as if she were dead.
I mean, I could see that giving you horrible anxiety, but like also that's pretty smart. I mean,
I agree. I thought about doing it with my kids, but they have such bad anxiety.
yeah, they do.
Yeah.
The boy was telling me today. He was like, so I heard there was a tornado here. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah. He said, I am terrified of tornadoes.
He's terrified of all natural disasters. He is afraid of currently volcanoes.
Oh.
Lava. He thinks lava's going to take our house out.
That's not going to be a worry here.
I told him not to worry about it. And then the other day, Jacob was like, man, this weather, it looks like there could be a tsunami. And I was like, why the fuck would you say that? And so he's like, what's a tsunami? What's a tsunami? And he's 7. So I'm like, nothing you need to worry about.
Right.
And then Jacob was like, nah, man, I'm just joking. It's more like earthquake weather. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, this kid is terrified of natural disasters. Shut up.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, when the storm was there the other day, I thought a tree was going to fall on my house. If a tree fell on my house, I would die.
Yeah.
I said, well, that's not really likely to happen, but it could. I was like, oh.
He's terrified.
Okay.
And every morning he wakes up and he's like, Mom, because he calls me Mom. He's like, Mom, can you check the radar and see if there's any tornadoes coming? No, I'm not. Like, there's no tornadoes coming.
Tornadoes.
That's
So
what he calls
cute.
them. He's like, Mom, can you check the radar and see if there's any tornadoes coming? No. I'm like, nope, not a chance of rain. And then he watches the radar himself. He knows how to get on the radar on my phone now. Mm-hmm. And he watches it. So today he was like, there's a horrible storm coming. I looked, he was in Bangladesh. I'm like, there's no storm coming. What are you talking about? So yeah, I thought about doing that with my kids, but it would really just
it would
cause
not
me
go
problems.
Well.
So,
no. But you remember, he like, even as a baby would be like, or not a baby, but like a toddler, he'd be like, it's going to rain today.
yes. He's always been very, like, in tune with the weather.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yes, and we used to call him the weatherman because he would be right, too. Mm-hmm. Be like, weatherman's going to rain today? And he'd be like, yeah, it's going to rain in a couple hours. And it would be completely clear sky, the radar showed nothing, and then a storm would come through.
Yeah.
I swear he could feel it in his balls or something.
That's what I was just going to say.
I always used to say that, but okay, anyway, back to the case. Enough banter, so sorry.
So they found the other child, the 7-year-old Kenneth. He had been severely beaten, and he was in his bedroom. He was alive, but barely.
What a monster. And this is unsolved.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah, horrible. So they airlifted Kenneth to the closest children's hospital where they treated him for a traumatic brain injury and many surgeries. But Lyric was completely unharmed.
It's weird.
Right? They beat the mom. They beat the son.
Eerie.
But they left the little girl alone. Don't know. Weird. So the police look around, but there's no signs of robbery. Nothing seems to be out of place. Nothing's missing. No signs of forced entry. So at first, they're just really not sure what to make of the scene. But they do eliminate the possibility of robbery, since, no one broke in, it looks like, and nothing was gone.
What were they beaten with? Like fists or like an object?
An object.
Okay.
That's my next line. It says that they did recover the weapon that they were beaten with from the scene that they believe to be the murder weapon, but they have not released to the public what the weapon was. So, I'm not sure if it was like a bat, a crowbar, I don't know.
Okay.
It just says the weapon.
My mind just always go there because sometimes I have a hard time in my mind envisioning, I don't want to envision like people getting beaten, but like when things like that happen, I need to know what the weapon is.
Yeah, they never released what it was, so I don't know.
Okay.
I can't help you there, I'm sorry.
It all comes back to that time we went to the state fair and someone got stabbed.
I don't recall.
Yeah, we went to the state fair and someone got stabbed, and like I recall because it was like a whole big deal, and like we were little. I mean, you probably don't remember. You were really little. You were probably like 6, but somebody got stabbed, and it wasn't until I was much older that I realized that what actually probably happened is somebody brought a knife in and stabbed someone. But at that time, I was thinking it was a state fair. It was like plastic cutlery, and I was like, how did they stab someone with a plastic fork? Like that was my thought process as like a 10-year-old at the state fair.
Yeah. What state?
New York State. It was when we lived in New York. It was the
I
New
don't
York State
remember
Fair.
that.
The one time we went, like when we lived there.
Yeah,
But I just recall someone got stabbed, and like now that I'm an adult, I realize that somebody brought a knife into the state fair. But at the time, I was so confused of how somebody stabbed someone with plastic cutlery because that's all they had,
Right.
like plastic forks and plastic knives. And I was like, how did they stab someone with that? So,
A lot of force.
yeah, that's right. I mean, now I'm like, oh, okay, somebody brought in a knife in their pocket. Obviously,
Right.
it wasn't a plastic fork.
That makes sense.
I just remember thinking like, it wasn't that big of a deal, it was just like a plastic fork or something. But
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. That's probably the one time I ate an elephant ear.
probably,
And that was traumatic. Stabbing, so I just blocked the whole thing out.
maybe.
Thanks, Dad.
How's that Dad's fault?
I
We
don't
didn't
know.
stab someone.
I don't know, I just wanted to blame him. So, them finding the murder weapon gave him hope that they were going to be able to find some answers. But Lyric was the only witness. And she was questioned, but she was 2. So,
Right.
And
Was she like newly 2 or like close to 3? Because that's a big difference. Like if you're talking about just turned 2 versus someone that's about to turn 3, like that's a big year
Yeah, I don't know.
for development.
I don't know. I didn't find that information.
Okay.
There really wasn't like a lot of the kids. I mean, maybe if I looked a little harder, I could have found like the birthday of
Okay.
Lyric. I mean, we can try right now if you want.
No, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
I just wondered because, like I said, it makes a big difference between
Right.
2 and
Right.
almost 3.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it does, but no, I'm not really sure.
Okay.
But, she was 2. She's little. She went through a very traumatic experience, so she really wasn't a lot of help at all. Police did put together a timeline of the day. Laneshia and her kids, like, ran some errands during the day, whatever. She went to her mom's house around 9 o'clock. No. She got home from her mom's house around 9 o'clock on Saturday night. She put the kids to bed around 9:30, and then she spent the next couple of hours until midnight talking to some friends on the phone. And then no one heard or saw from her all day Sunday and Monday. And then Monday night is when her neighbor went to check on her. An autopsy was performed, and it was ruled a homicide.
Obviously, she didn't beat herself to death.
Well,
Sometimes it's just okay.
okay, well, I'm just adding it.
Okay.
Her cause of death was blunt force trauma, but the actual, source could not be identified because she had such horrible injuries. Her time of death was determined to be very early morning on Saturday. So that means that her 2 children were with their dead mother for 36 hours.
Oh my gosh! And that little boy was beaten.
Yeah, and was suffering for 36 hours.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, that just gave me chills again, saying it.
Yeah.
Awful. This guy, well, not guy, I don't know who it is. This person is a monster.
Yeah. How early morning are we talking though? Like broken? Well, you said there was no forced entry, right?
Right. So, it didn't say, exact time. So, this is what I'm thinking. She
Okay.
got off the phone with her friends at midnight.
Okay, so this is just your
So,
opinion.
yeah, my opinion. This is not fact at all. This is just what I envision of what occurred. It says early morning Saturday. So, she got off the phone at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe, she was still up watching TV, hanging out till, 2 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody came, knocked on the door at 2 in the morning. That would be
And
early
she,
morning.
let them in.
I mean, yeah, there's
she
no
knew who
forced
they were?
interest. Right.
Okay.
So that's what it kind of seems like, in my opinion, to me.
Was
But
she? Well, I don't really think you can find that information.
What?
Well, because I was thinking, like, gets off with her friends at midnight, does some stuff around the house, whatever. Maybe she, like, went outside for something.
Right?
And they,
Maybe.
you know, like, came at her then.
Right. But it was
Door
also,
would've
I
been
mean, 2000, so it's not like they had security cameras outside.
Right.
Ring
That's what I'm saying.
doorbells.
Right. So, you know, I'm just thinking, like, I regularly,
Yeah.
I don't even like to think about that. I regularly, like, put my kids to bed, edit the podcast until 2 a.m, go outside, sit on the back patio.
Right.
Regularly. So, not doing that anymore.
I probably wouldn't.
Sometimes I do get myself, like, sketched out, though. Because I'm, like, out there, and I just got done editing, like, a murder.
Yeah.
And I'll be, like, out in the back patio, and then, like, we have a bunch of stray cats. And we've
Right.
got, like, spotlights on the back, you know, the back property line where the woods are. And the cats, like, set them off. And I freak out. I'm like, I gotta go inside. Like, somebody's gonna kill me.
I don't blame you. I would, too.
Or sometimes I hear, like, an animal, and I'm like, I don't know if it's an animal or a
Hit the
person.
tigers.
Yes, I also have tigers, yes, that live literally a road over from me.
Yeah.
The tigers don't scare me anymore, though. They used to scare the shit out of me.
They used to
Because
scare
I
the
didn't
shit
know
out
what
of
they
me, too.
were. But now that I know they're tigers.
You remember that, like, very first weekend after you moved in? I was like, oh my god, there's a wild animal. Do you hear that? And you all were like, no, you're crazy. I don't hear anything. I was like, there is a noise.
Yes.
And you all just told me I was crazy.
Yeah.
Not crazy.
No, it was definitely tigers. And it's so funny now that I'm like, it's just the tigers. Like, they don't even scare me anymore. But
Right.
when I thought it was like a bobcat or something out in the wild, because the tigers are fenced in.
Right.
I don't think it's very likely they're going to get out.
Right. And if they do, well, sucks to be you. Because big cats are going to eat you.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
So, Laneshia did have a boyfriend at the time. And he was living with her. But he was not there that weekend. He was in jail for about a week and a half before that. So, he had an alibi.
Okay. He didn't get let out to go shopping or anything?
No.
Okay.
Not that I could find.
Okay.
They did talk to him, and he said that he doesn't really know of anyone that would want to hurt her. And all of her friends that she talked to that night were questioned, and they were cleared for any involvement. Everybody says that there was nothing out of the ordinary that they talked about. She seemed to be in good spirits. Everything seemed to be fine. Investigators spoke with her friends and family and neighbors, but again, no one knew of anyone who would want to hurt Laneshia. No one even had a bad thing to say about her. She was loved. I mean, there was no reason that anybody would want to hurt her. So as far as they could find, Laneshia had a completely clean record and was not involved in anything that would contribute to her murder. It was believed that she knew her attacker because they think that she willingly let them into her home because it was late at night and there was no signs of forced entry.
Right.
But like you said, maybe she could have went outside. Maybe she went to take the trash out.
Right? Went to the trash out. Maybe she wanted to smoke a cigarette. Maybe she
Right.
wanted to drink a cup of wine on her front porch.
Right.
I mean, I do that. Like, I might want to go, you know. I don't really go to my back porch.
Right.
Or my back deck area because I think it's less likely for a murderer to come. But actually, maybe
Right.
it's more likely because it's all woods.
Right.
But, like, I just live in the middle of a bunch of woods. So, like, on the front, there's, like, a main road.
Right.
But then out back, there's a whole bunch of woods. So I regularly, like, get a glass of wine and go sit out and, like, listen to the bugs of summer, you know, like the
Yeah.
chirping.
I don't
and
do that.
I do.
Uh-uh.
I need the quiet sometimes. Just, like, clear my mind, you know?
It's quiet in your
Or I'll,
house.
like,
Your kids are
sit and
sleeping.
No, I mean, yeah, but no. Then I've got, like, the dog climbing on me and, like, no. So I'll sit out there and, like, read my Kindle and
Yeah. No.
drink a glass of wine. I do that pretty regularly. Smoke a cigarette when I'm smoking.
Yeah. So they believe that she let them in, but I think that what you said. I mean, I think that could be likely.
I mean, I think either way. She either had to have known them or she opened the door if there's no forced entry. Or maybe
Right.
she didn't lock it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe.
where was it?
In Georgia. I mean, I didn't really look up the area, but
I mean, there's a lot of people out
it
there
said it
who
was like
still...
a close-knit community.
Right. There's a lot of people out there who still don't lock their damn doors.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
care where you live. Lock your
It's a
freaking door.
safe area.
No, lock your damn door.
Yeah.
I don't care where you live. Lock your door.
I didn't look to see like how big the area was or anything. It's outside of Atlanta, I'm pretty positive. So maybe it's like a suburb outside of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Well, Atlanta's kind of a scary place, so hopefully she locked your door.
Yeah.
If you live in Atlanta, I'm sorry, but
Yeah. No, I'm not really sure.
I mean, Atlanta's a big city, so you know,
Right. Big
there's a lot of
cities
crime.
in general are scary.
Well, to the people that don't live in cities, to us country folk,
I lived in a city.
yeah,
They're scary.
yeah. I never lived in a city.
Everyone close to her was cleared. So even though they think that she knew her attacker, all of her friends and family have been cleared at this point. But at some point, the kids did go to the police and told them what they remembered from that night. Kenneth, who was older, remembers a little more.
So Kenneth lived because you didn't actually tell me that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes,
Okay.
Kenneth lived.
Okay.
I do apologize. I thought I said that earlier when I said that
You
he
might
had
have. Sometimes I
lots
don't pay
of...
attention to you.
He had a lot of surgeries and he had a traumatic brain injury, but he did survive. He was in the hospital for a few months.
Okay.
So the kids went to the police and told them what they remembered. Kenneth knew more. He says that he remembers like being frightened and knowing that something was wrong, and he told his sister to go hide.
Okay.
But he doesn't really say like what made him think that. And the kids are also supposed to be in bed, so there must have been maybe like some yelling. I don't know, loud noises. Whatever.
Did they share a room?
Well, it was a 2-bedroom house, so I think they shared a room, but I can't be 100% positive of that.
That would make sense of why she wasn't injured.
Right.
If she went and hid and listened to her brother.
Right.
I was thinking another thing too, but you said he was in his room, so I was thinking also, I mean, like, obviously 7's little still, but like if he tried to intervene,
right,
and she didn't, then that would be like a reason why,
right,
he got beaten and not her.
Right. He might have, but he was also alive, so he could have, been out there, tried to intervene, whatever, and then like crawled back in his room.
Yeah.
And then they beat him some more, and then left. I don't know.
Right.
Because he says that he remembers that. He told his sister to hide. He remembers 3 men come into their home and start assaulting them. He then says that he remembers at the beginning, they said to him, "This is only starting." And then he woke up in the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
So, like, he doesn't remember, like, the actual attack.
Oh my gosh. On a side note, if a grown-ass man beats a 7-year-old child, like, you're a bitch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care who you are. No.
Yeah, no.
I mean, obviously, whatever. I mean, anybody, but children especially, like, screw you.
Yeah. Well, like, they said they remember, like, multiple men. Both of them say that. So
right.
3 men come into a house to
and
beat a woman
children?
and children?
Right.
No,
like,
screw you.
Yeah.
Trash bag.
Absolute
My
trash
opinion.
bag. Yeah, my opinion. You're a trash bag and a bitch.
And a bitch.
I'm just saying, it takes a real bitchy man.
Yeah.
And for what reason? I mean, like, you're not finding any, I don't know. There's never a good reason, honestly, but.
Well, spoiler, they have no idea.
Right.
No reason.
Right.
Because they've never been caught. Lyric says that she remembers hiding behind her bedroom door, watching through the crack as her mom and brother were brutally assaulted, and just wondering if they were alive. She says that she also remembers 2 to 3 men being there, but she's not sure how many exactly, and that she remembers being at her mom's side trying to fix her, but nothing worked. She said that she tried to comfort both of them because she knew they were hurt, and that she was just waiting for somebody to come help them because she couldn't do anything.
Right.
Both of the kids gave description of the men. They said, like, their faces, what they were wearing, like, they remember it. And what they said was similar to each other, but they haven't released any of that to the public. And that's pretty much all that's available on the case. They've never named a suspect or a person of interest. There wasn't really a lot of news coverage. The police haven't released much information because they don't want to hurt the integrity of the case, they say. So, without releasing any information, though, there's nothing that the public can really help with.
Right.
And there's also, like, not much to kind of spark the case and get it back in the public's interest. There was a special done on USA Today and 11 Alive, and a couple podcasts obviously have covered it, like True Crime Podcast. But other than that, there's really been, like, very little coverage on this case. The kids went on to be raised by their grandmother. Oh, I put it down here. I don't know why, but that was weird. So after months of surgery and recovery, Kenneth returned home to be with his grandmother and her sister, but he still suffers a lot from his injuries. Like, even now. There's a video, I think 11 Alive has the video, but it's of Kenneth and Lyric, like, talking about kind of, like, what they remember from that day, and it's heartbreaking. But they both do seem to be doing well. Lanesia's mom says that she believes whoever did this to her family knew Laneshia and is still in the area. She says that sometimes when she's talking to people in public, she gets the feeling that they were there that night, or, like, they know about what happened.
Yeah.
Like, gets that vibe from people.
I mean, yeah, if it's a close-knit community. I mean, somebody has to know what happened.
Right. But, like, she's saying, like, when she talks to somebody, she feels like they were there. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's kind of creepy.
I really couldn't find a lot of, like, theories. You know, usually there's, like, Reddits about theories of what happened. But there really wasn't a lot. So a big rumor or theory that some locals believe is that the boyfriend that was in jail had something to do with it. But he was in jail, so it obviously
doesn't
wasn't
mean that
him.
he couldn't have had somebody go beat her.
Right. So they think, like, he had But
For what
his
reason?
friends do it. I don't know.
Like, what was he in jail for?
I don't know. I couldn't find that. But if it was his friends, like, that would explain why Laneshia let him in, because she knew them.
Right.
And that also might explain why the kids didn't know them, because it was her boyfriend's friends.
Right.
And then some other theories that I found were that, like, the kid's dad had something to do with it. But I would hope that if it was their dad, they would recognize him.
Yeah, I would hope so as well. And I would
Maybe
also hope
not.
that he wouldn't have beat his fucking children.
I mean, I would agree.
I mean,
hope that as
okay.
well, but I don't know.
I don't like women beaters.
No.
But I really loathe children beaters.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, obviously I don't like people that beat women, but like children is a whole different fucking ballgame.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Could I hold my own against a man? Probably not. But I have a better chance
A
than
kid definitely can't.
my small children.
A 7-year-old.
Right.
Yeah, no.
And like also, they had to, I mean, more than likely had to have taken Laneshia out first.
Right?
And then went for him.
Right.
Because like obviously if she was capable of fighting back, like she wouldn't have allowed them to beat her son.
Right.
So
but
like,
it was also 3 of them, so
yeah.
even if they went after him first, I mean, or they could have went after him at the same time, you know?
Yeah. I really hate that a lot.
Yeah, it was a horrible case.
Yeah.
But it's unsolved and there's not a lot on it, so it really needs
Right.
to
It's kind of
come
crazy.
to
They really need to release
more information.
more
like, I
information.
understand, you know, they don't want to hurt the integrity of the case, but it's been
23 years.
23 years.
Right.
Like, you release some things now, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have a chance of figuring out what went down.
Right. So, someone knows what happened that night. They have some information that could help. If you have any information, please contact the Carroll County Sheriff's Office at 770-830-5888.
Hopefully somebody out there's got something.
Somebody does. They just gotta find them.
That's the thing that kills me about Unsolved.
Right. Somebody
Because,
knows.
like, somebody knows something.
Right. Even if it's just a rumor.
Yeah.
Go tell the cops the rumor.
Right. Or drunken at a party and somebody told you something and you didn't believe them.
Right.
Like somebody knows something, especially if there are 3 men involved.
Right.
Somebody knows something. Ain't no way
Right.
them 3 men all kept their mouths shut.
I mean, unless they're children. Maybe they were wrong. Maybe there wasn't 3 men. But either way, someone knows something if it was only 1 man.
Right. Yeah, I hate that.
I hate that as well.
Not a fan.
Well, I'm not a fan either. I'm sorry. But unfortunately, I had to share it. That's why I don't like Unsolved.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're heartbreaking and then you have no closure.
Yeah.
I mean, not us. We don't need closure. But the
I mean,
families
I
do.
need closure.
You don't need closure. You
I
like
do
closure.
need closure.
You like it.
I need closure.
You don't need it.
I hate it. The amount of unsolved cases there are.
Yeah. It's disgusting.
Okay, well, thanks for that. I appreciate the case.
You're welcome, and I apologize.
I don't appreciate it at all, but
I apologize. It was not a crappy case. It was I don't want to say a good case either, but it was good to get it out there. How's that?
yeah.
Okay, well, anyways, we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Yes, we will. Bye.
Hey, everyone. If you like what you heard and you want to support a small podcast, please give us money at
www.patreon.com/weekly dose of wicked, where you can join one of our 4 amazing tiers, starting at just a measly $3 a month. That's literally 10 cents a day. You can join the Slightly Wicked. After that, we've got the Moderately Wicked for just $5 a month, followed by the Awesomely Wicked for $7 a month. And for those high rollers, big ballers, we have the Extraordinarily Wicked. So head on over, check it out. If you like what you see, join it up.
If subscriptions aren't your jam, head on over to
www.buymeacoffee.com/WDOW, where you can give us a one-time donation to buy us a coffee, or, like podcasting equipment, which would probably be a better use of our money.
Feel free to give us a follow on
Instagram at weekly_dose_of_wicked, or you can just search Weekly Dose of Wicked and we'll pop up because we're the only ones.
or you can give us a like on Facebook at facebook.com/weeklydoseofwicked.
Or you know what? You could just do both because that would be better for us.
For a direct feed of our podcast, please go to
www.weeklydoseofwicked.buzzsprout.com.
Great news, guys. We've made it big time, and you can now listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yep. Even Pandora, they finally let us in.
Make sure to come back next Wednesday for your
Weekly Dose of Wicked. But